Hello lovelies, it's Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, where we carry the largest selection of wood flowers in the United States. Welcome back to another tutorial. This one is super sentimental, super special to me. Also will be a little bit different than anything we've done recently. I don't think we've done anything like this quite how we're gonna do it. So let's tell you what we're doing, shall we? So, super special announcement in my own personal life. My parents are celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary very soon. And my dad had kind of whispered little hints earlier last summer about getting me pictures of their wedding, and in particular, the wedding bouquet that my mom had. A couple things to note: my parents got married when they were very young. It was in the early 80s, and there's not a lot of focus on the bouquet itself as far as like pictures and stuff. So we're gonna be working with some not all that great detailed photos to work off of this, but what we're gonna do is we are going to recreate the bridal bouquet that my mother had at their wedding, but with a twist, because I don't think my mom's bouquet was a slight cascade. It was a mix of fresh and silk flowers. She still has the bouquet to this day, but it's pretty much like squished and flat, and there's not a lot of life to it. And it has been stored in like a closet, in the back of a closet in a box. So I feel like if I make her replicate actual bouquet, it's not really gonna get shown or displayed at all. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to take it as the inspiration, and we're going to make a centerpiece with it, because I have, it's over there, I've had for years, I think, what is the perfect vase to emulate what her bouquet holder was. Because do you remember in the 80s, especially in the 80s, they're still around, but I feel like this was definitely an 80s vibe for weddings, was that like ruffled lace edging on a bouquet handle, like made out of plastic, and it's like cone shaped and stuff. I know those are still around, but I feel like they were very, very prevalent in the 80s and probably early 90s. So she had that, and I have a vintage white vase that is on a little bit of a pillar. I'll show you in a second. I'm just like, why am I talking about this? I'll just show it to you. But first, what we gotta do is we need to break this down. And this is how I would do it too if I was actually making a bouquet and not a centerpiece, but we're gonna break down everything. So you guys, we're gonna take a little journey back to the 80s. And I'm gonna put my beautiful, very young looking parents up on the screen, and we're gonna sketch this out, shall we? So let's do this. This is gonna be a ton of fun. I'm so excited. It better turn out, because I will cry if it doesn't. But I feel like I have sentimental, like, good juju right now, and it's gonna work out just perfectly. Okay, first, can we just, I know these aren't great pictures because it's a picture of a picture, but look at my baby parents. Look at them. Oh, they're so cute. So I took a couple pictures of pictures. That's my uncle. And there's my mama. And that is my grandpa, who we just lost recently. So I always get a little bit teary-eyed when I see pictures of him. There is her bouquet. Look at her. Such a baby. And then this is kind of a side picture of it. So it's a mini kind of cascade. Aw, look at how cute they are. And the other sentimental thing, I believe my grandmother, which is my mom's mom, who also we lost recently, made the bouquet. So I have to honor her too. So this is the actual bouquet. Mom. Shouting her out on the internet. So the faux flowers are still in here. There's baby's breath that has completely dried out, and there's the side you can hardly see, but there's like the little bit of like lace or what have you. So yeah, we're gonna look at this, and we have a kind of a lily type flower, but I'll show you what I'm kind of pulling together from this. But based off of this, there were fresh daisies in there that I can see. So for that, this is what we're gonna need for our bouquet to kind of replicate. So I wanted something with ruffles or lace to show the handle. We've got daisies. We've got baby's breath. And what I think for the baby's breath, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna go with faux baby's breath. I'm going to put actual baby's breath in this, but we're gonna let it dry naturally. Kind of like what happened with the last one, but this one should hold up for a long time. And then I can always switch it out at a later date if I want to for her, if she cares. Otherwise, baby's breath just ages so well. Granted, this bouquet, remind you of what we saw that other picture, is 40 years old now. We also have in here kind of like a lily type flower. Whoops, if I can. That's pretty much it. Those are what I'm pulling from this. Thank you, Mom, for having a fairly simple bouquet. So let's pull from this, and once again, we'll kind of show you a close up what flowers we're gonna use for this particular revitalizing. I don't think that's what I'm trying to say. I want to say reenactment, but that's not what this is, but it is, I guess. It's a reenactment of her bouquet. We're gonna change it up a little bit so that she can actually put it like in her bedroom or on a table somewhere. So it can be displayed a little bit nicer than in a squished box up in her closet. Okay, let's look at the flowers, shall we? Okay, so I think we have all of our flowers kind of pulled. I know I said I wasn't gonna use faux baby's breath. I might use faux baby's breath now that I'm thinking about it. So I've also got that. So let's just, sorry. I'm like all over the place because I'm so excited about this. All right, let's kind of pull this all together. We have our daisies. I have them in 2 different sizes. So I've got a larger and a small one. So we're gonna just pop these with just yellow centers, nothing special in any way. Super simple. Simon is basically creams and yellows was my mom's bouquet. Then we have the trillium flower in 2 different sizes as well. So I don't even have to do anything with these. I might put a little bit more yellow in the center. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. I want to kind of see how they look as is, but we might zhuzh them up just a little bit. I do also have a hydrangea bloom. We're gonna take these all apart and we're just gonna add these in for additional filler flower. But I think to the centers, we're just gonna pop in little yellow dabs of yellow in there as well. Or maybe not. I've got to look at the pictures again, but she has like some, hold on, let's look at the picture real quick. Yeah, these tiny little flowers here. There's just a tiny, and red. Huh. And this also has some yellow. So yeah, we'll probably add those in. Now I did also find one faux flower that I want to also use. It's not exactly the same as the lilies that she has, but a similar kind of style and vibe. It also adds some of these like more lily kind of styled leaves, and these bend as well, so I can shape them. So we're gonna use these. I also have, so the greenery is the hardest part because we don't really have a lot of these really thin type of leaves in the shop that I can think of off the top of my head. So this is from my stash. These purple flowers aren't gonna go in, even though purple is my mom's favorite color. Fun fact about my lovely mother. But we are gonna use these all individually in there as well. I'm hoping that's enough greenery. She doesn't have a lot of greenery in here. I did grab these. These have nothing to do though with hers, so I'm not gonna use these, but I just like the shape of them. So we're setting those aside. We're not gonna use those because those don't go with the flow of the bouquet. And then, yeah, I think we are gonna use this faux baby's breath instead of the other stuff. Because if I know my mom, as well as I do. This is gonna be better to do. So that's kind of the jive, the jazz, what we've got going on. Isn't this such a pretty little vignette going on? So first thing we gotta do is we gotta dye all of our daisies. So I'm just gonna be painting those in the center white, going in with straight paint. I will show a quick tutorial of that, but for the most part, I'm gonna be doing a lot of that off camera, but then we are gonna deconstruct the hydrangea bloom, and I will show you how to do that. So I'm gonna go get some paint and get my hands dirty for a little bit. To make the yellow that we need, I'm going to take Buttercup and Summer Yellow and just mix them a little bit, eyeball it really. I don't have that much Buttercup left. I'm really just using that to thin out a little bit of the Summer Yellow because it's a little bit brighter than I want it to be. I'm gonna grab my handy dandy spray bottle. This just has water in it. There's no glycerin in this at all. We're gonna kind of diffuse it a little bit. So I'm gonna spray in the inside of the flower. And I'm gonna take my brush, and I have way too much paint on this, so let's get that off. And we're just gonna go in and scrub it. And that's also gonna get the little ends there too, but that's gonna pop up that color just a little bit more. So I'm gonna do that with all of these, and then with the sunflowers, I'm just gonna, sometimes I'll add like a little green spot or anything like that, but I didn't really notice anything like that for my mom's. I am going with straight paint on that. If I felt like the paint was a little too heavy, I just spritz a little bit of water onto my little palette and be able to do that. Let's do real quick while we're in the middle of this, the hydrangeas. You can individually stem these up, and I'm gonna probably make them into like little bunches of 3. But to do that, you can take that, and you could take this whole thing off, the whole stem if you want to. I've done that before so that your stems are a little bit longer. But I'm gonna be taking a couple of these, and these are all wired stems. I'm gonna be pinching them together, twisting them together, and adding a longer stem to them. Now I wanna open this up a little bit so that I can just focus on the center, and it can sometimes be a little bit tighter. So I am gonna spray it down with water so that it's a little bit more manageable, a little bit more flexible, if you will. Grab a little bit of paint, and I'm just gonna scrub in that center. And now that is also ready to go. So I'm gonna get everything painted up with our little mixture of yellow, and then we'll get to stemming and getting everything prepped before we add it to the lovely vintage vase that I've just realized I never showed you guys. So that's coming up, stay tuned. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is how to take the little hydrangea blooms that we took off of the main big bulb, if you will, and how do I stem these? So I like to do them in groups of 3. Everybody's different, whatever works for you. And these are all tiny little wires. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of the wires, and I'm gonna start twisting it around the others, holding everything in place. And I still have little legs left. So I'm gonna grab my floral wire, which I normally use 18 gauge. And it does depend on the project. Sometimes I use thicker, sometimes I use thinner. And I'm just going to take those little legs of the wires, and we're gonna kind of crisscross them on there. And then get either floral tape, or I use vinyl tape typically. If I had floral tape on hand, I would actually use that. And I know that floral tape can be a little tricky to use. I mean, you look at it and it's like innocent enough. It can't be that difficult to work with. It can be. The trick with floral tape in particular is you need to stretch it to activate the glue. But for this, I'm just gonna use what I have on hand, which is the vinyl tape that I use often for floral arrangements. And I'm just going to cover up my connection points. We're gonna tightly wrap this around, and then I'm gonna go even a little bit further past where my wire ended and get it nice and tight and stuck onto the wire itself. Now we have a nice little grouping of 3. So I've made a couple of those. I'm gonna make one more, I think. And then we're getting close to, I just need to prep the greenery a little bit, and then we're ready to start actually building our centerpiece. So I'll meet you back for greenery in like 2 seconds. My head's cut off. I gotta fix that in a second. But here is the vase. I've already set it up. We're gonna use floral foam, and then because of the shape of this, and I could probably cut it a little bit more at an angle so that it sits a little bit more in a cone, but I also grabbed some vinyl tape to hold it down in place. I did find one more greenery because I felt like I'm not gonna have enough greenery to like fill up this space. I'll have a lot of like other things going on, but I felt like there wasn't a lot to like cover the floral foam. The sage greenery, we do have this in the shop over at Oh You're Lovely, so you can take a look at that. Also, I probably could have used the large ruscus, and I might still, if I don't have enough other filler, I might grab the large ruscus as well. It's a yellow green tone, which is what's going on with the rest of this. Look how lovely this all, looking all wild and crazy, and I kind of just love it as is, but that's not what we're actually creating today. So there's that. I'm still debating about this though, because we'll see. If it gives me problems, I'm just gonna start over, and then I'll like shave it down a little bit more in a cone shape. But for right now, we're gonna give it a go and we're gonna see what happens, okay? Taking off my shoes again, this time because they make weird noises. Like squeaky. I'm not sure why. I am planning on doing more of a cascade off of one side of this. So right now it's just a matter of kind of filling in the gaps, so to speak, or kind of just starting to fill this in. And I'm putting them down more in a kind of at an angle to cover up this part, not so much cover up in the center, because we're gonna have so much other stuff to do that for. And I remember saying these are wired, so we're gonna be able to kind of, they have a lot of height to them, but we'll be able to bring down that height a little bit. And these stems are way too long for what size lovely thing I have going. This arrangement, I think I'm gonna have to hand deliver. I don't think I can ship it to my parents. So it'll come after their anniversary because I won't get to see them until afterwards. But, oh, that's a big one. That stem is really long, or really thick. It should be thick. Okay. Okay, that wasn't what I was expecting, but this is fun. Debating if I do another. Okay, I have one more of the real long spiky guys, but I'm gonna wait to put those in. So now we've got our other little bits and bobs of spiky leaves, and these are much shorter. And these I can't manipulate as much though. So we're gonna kind of do what they're gonna do, and we're gonna deal with it. We might need to add some moss to this as well. I'm definitely considering this a more front facing, so the back is kind of flatter. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I really hope she likes it. Okay, but let's see. I'm gonna take the baby's breath first, and we'll see how much that actually covers up the floral foam. And if it does a good job, then I won't need moss. But if it doesn't, then we're gonna slide in some moss here as well. Oh, I was silly. These I can take right off. And then you can hold on to those for something else, like the ends of a bouquet or something, but whoops. I forgot to do that for this. And these, I'm gonna really butt it up against my floral foam. So, here's this one. We're gonna slide it off. Okay. Still think I'm gonna need baby's, or not baby's breath. I think I'm still gonna need some moss, but this is gonna work pretty well for most of the filler. I'm just kind of going around everything. I've got 5 of them, so we're just gonna probably surround it and then have one up in the middle standing up. I might just cut them all down and not have them connected like I have in that one. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Now there is like a gaping hole in here, and that's from the floral tape. I like crisscrossed applesauce in there, and you can't get those bigger stems through. So my hope is with my wires, we'll be able to get through those. I have a mix of the 2 different sizes of the trillium. So I'm just kind of spreading them across and in different spots. I'm not really doing a huge rhyme or reason though, because we were only dealing with just a few different style flowers. So I'm fine with them like touching each other and hanging out around each other, because that's what's going to happen when you don't have like a huge amount of kind of different flowers going in there. Oh, this is turning out so cute. And typically too, I like to put all the same flowers in at one time and then move to the next one, but that is not happening today. I feel it in my bones. It just is not gonna happen. Get some flowers kind of lower too to cover up again the floral foam. Since I didn't go with the moss route, I'm gonna turn this just for a second so I can see it a little bit. It's definitely taking shape. I did like a little bit of that cascade to play like an homage to the cascade that she had in her bouquet. But I definitely want to also show that roundness that she had in the bouquet as well. Okay, I'm gonna flip it so you can see the back side, and we're gonna start filling that in too. We're creating kind of layers. I don't know if you can see that, but we're kind of creating layers on top of each other. All right, so now let's just see if there's any other, like I see a couple little holes, like right there, is like a little bit of a hole, and I've got these smaller and the trilliums in particular are made with wires that are squished in between so that we get that shape of the petal. But they can be a little bit delicate, as we just saw. So have a couple extra on hand just in case when you're working with them. And if you are making a piece for somebody and are using these flowers, you may want to just give them a heads up, you know, that they can just be a little bit touchier to hold, like be a little bit more gentle when you're moving stuff around and things. But they create such a pretty statement. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if I should add any more to it. I'm also debating, do we like that side or do we want it just to be a cascade? I'm kind of wondering. Okay, I'm gonna attempt something. This might be a mistake. Or it might not be. We'll see. Oh, that's fun. Okay, I like that. Okay. All right, I'm feeling better about this now. I don't though like this one, because now, do you see it? They've got antlers. There's antlers happening. So we're gonna take that one out, but I'm gonna put it back in. I just want it more, and a more, yeah. There. Now do you see the look of a little bit of that cascade? I'm gonna adjust these a little bit too. Just a little bit there. Okay. Now, from doing that, I do have a hole there. We're gonna slide in another daisy. And because I've got a row of daisies happening, do you see that? We've got a row of daisies and we've got like a row of trilliums. We're going to swap one trillium with the daisy. And then we've got much more of a triangle going on of our different style flowers. Which will make all of our eyeballs so happy. There. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, there you have it. A lovely centerpiece that is a homage to my mother's wedding bouquet. Again, my parents are celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary. Heck yeah, how amazing is that? And I know they're watching. Hi, Mom and Dad. I love you. Congratulations. And thank you for showing me what a true relationship looks like. They've gone through a lot, and it's one of those, they were young and they pushed through, and I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, but boy oh boy, do I really look up to them. So I'm just so proud of you guys. Thank you. I'm lost for words, and that's weird since we all know I can ramble on for hours at a time, but yeah, I love my parents and they are just hashtag goals. And I'm hashtag cringe. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It is a little bit something different. If you'd like to see me do an actual like recreation of a bouquet to bouquet, let me know down in the comments, and maybe we'll do like a whatchamacallit, like a call out at some point over on Instagram. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure to follow us. We post on stories pretty much on a regular basis, and posts happen on a semi-regular basis. But if you'd like, make sure to follow us over there on Instagram. And I think in one of the Instagram stories at some point, I'm gonna like call out or request send me a picture of your bridal bouquet, and we'll see if we can recreate it for you. But first, let me know in the comments. Is that something that would be fun for you guys to watch? What do you think? I also have another idea. I just saw the coolest idea of how to take your wedding bouquet, take it apart and reuse it for something else. And we've done that in different ways, but I really, really liked this idea. So we're gonna make it our own. We'll take a spin on it soon. So that's coming up as well. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for that. Yeah. If you're loving these videos, can't get enough, want to know the next time we post a tutorial or some of the stuff that I'm talking about, if you're hoping to see those, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell to find out about the 150 style Sola wood flowers along with craft supplies and greenery. Go to ohyourlovely.com, but before you go over there, let me grab you something. Use the code YouTube30 to get 30% off your first order. All right, guys, now I gotta figure out, I'm gonna see my parents soon, but not super soon. And they're gonna watch this. So pretend you're super surprised when you get this, okay? Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, and you, my friends, are absolutely lovely. Bye, guys.